So, this is an early morning of day 3. It's 7 minutes past 12 on the 28th of December, and I'm in one of those zones, so I thought I'd show. Yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. It doesn't make sense to any of you, but to me, there's yesterday's video rendering that took longer than I expected. I should have probably just uploaded the videos, but I tried to edit the two together to make it one piece. And, well, yeah, here we are. I got some tunes on. I think it's a Guy J mix. One sec, because I don't want to get copyright strikes. Hang on. What have we got on? What have we been listening to? Yeah, can't play stuff like that on this channel because I'll get copyright strikes left, right, and centre, and that's not what I want to do. I will be creating some more playlists, so I'll pop the mixes from that I reference in the videos in the box down there, if that makes sense and if I remember. But yeah, it's the Balance Presents Guy J. It's this continuous DJ mix. I've listened to it 18 times. Well, right, I'm going to carry on working because I'm in a zone and I'd like to finish this. And then Muggins down there somewhere, Gizmo, is going to want to go for a WALK at some point because he's not been out for a while, and it'll probably give me a moment to clear my brain and decide whether to carry on for another little while or maybe I need some sleep. But till next one, bye. So today's video is a little bit higgledy-piggledy. It was far too dark by the time me and Gizmo went out for a walk earlier to take you guys along, but I had a bit of a mad day. I've made some big breakthroughs and I got some feedback as well, and I'll try and remember to get back onto that. But I've looked at my page or my channel just now, and I've some people have actually watched my videos, which has made me smile and cheered me up. There's been several views on the first video, and yesterday or today, this morning's video has had as many views as many hours as it's been on YouTube, and to me that makes me happy because those people have spent some of their time to watch me, and so yeah, that's made me want to do this video now. I went to bed at about 4 AM after taking Giz for a whiz. We saw a fox. Gizmo wanted to run after it. He has a prey drive, but not for any animal, just seems to be foxes. If he sees a fox or smells a fox, that's it. He wants to run after it or chase it or see it off or I think it's him protecting his chickens, to be honest. That's always been his job and his thing that he does. He protects our hens. Um, but I came back and I got into bed, and I kind of like having something new to do each day, because I've been in such a routine of making stuff and designing stuff and creating ideas and making things new. Well, how I see them, or how I would like to see them go. Um, I'm bored of generic websites and templates and things like that. My brain doesn't enjoy them, and therefore I don't really go around the web. I'm not that sort of person. I don't go onto a site and then go scrolling, or I occasionally read the odd blog here and there, and I watch YouTube a lot in the background. I've got several people that I follow, like Matt Armstrong and who else, Tavarish. I watched the Diary of a CEO. I really enjoy that. There's several things that I have on in the background. But I'm not a webby sort of person. I don't go to a site because I get a dopamine fix from it. I like going to sites that tell a story, or that I can interact with, or that are different from the generic that everyone's used to and everyone's been conditioned to. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me realising that after, well, it's got to be 25 years on and off that I've done graphic design and sign writing and print and vehicle graphics, and basically you name it, I've got the experience and learnt it and understand it, and I've dealt with hundreds of people in that line of work, and I've got some crazy memories of projects that I worked on, like the Toyota IQ, when that was released in Jersey. I did the product launch for it and filmed a load of videos with one of my friends, Craig, who was just getting into doing visuals and club visuals and things, and he put the videos together, and I ended up putting a whole concept together where, because the IQ was so small, we got loads of props that were small, and we hired a nightclub and we parked the car on the dance floor in the nightclub, and then played the videos of the car driving around scenic routes in Jersey. We spent more hours making everything look nice and the whole thing than we did actually making money from it, and I think that's been half my problem. I undersell myself, and I've realised that over the last sort of 2 to 3 months, and when I go looking and I see what's available and what everybody else is offering, and I look at the best agency or the one that's top 10 in the local area, or who has the most hits on Google or whatever, I do my investigations, I do my due diligence, I look at what's out there, and then I kind of make a solution. And I've designed maybe 10 or 15 different styles of websites over the last 11 months, but this one that I've almost finished is very unique, and I'm very proud of it. And when I made the breakthrough this morning, I screen videoed the opening of it and sent it to 2 of my friends, and both of the messages that came back were, wow, that's like cool as FC UK. I don't swear very much. I don't like swearing. I do swear when needs be, but it's one of those things. But anyway, throughout today I've kind of worked on and off, and I went out and did some shopping, and I always leave it on a Sunday till late, because I know that last hour most people have either left or it's people like me that are going in with one basket, they know what they want, they know where everything is, and they grab, and they're out, and they've done a week's worth of shopping in like 20 minutes. Well, that's me. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I don't do the list thing, and I don't have the whole you need X, Y, and Z. I don't organise myself in that way. I know what I want, and I plan my days, and I then plan my shop around where the products are in the supermarket. So I have the supermarkets that I use mapped out in my head, all the products that I like to eat. I repeat quite a lot of the foods that I eat because I have a weird thing where if I like something, then I just eat it all the time, and some days I'll eat the same thing over and over again, and then other days I'll cook something new. I do love cooking as well. I think I've mentioned it somewhere along the line so far, but I love cooking, and I love experimenting and making things. Like at the moment, I got some probably past raw bananas and all of the ingredients to make a banana loaf, and I can't do it because I haven't washed up in 3 days. I'm one of those people that if I've got stuff to use and it's clean in the cupboard, I'll use it and then put it in the sink, and then because I can hide stuff in the sink, I'll play Jenga in the sink to a point that it's got all of the things that I've used, and because I'm in quite a small space, I play Jenga in the sink until I've got everything in there. Then I'll fill it up with water, and it will be nice and ready and ready to wash up, and everything will be prepared, and then I'll get distracted and forget, and then it might be 2 days later that I have to do the washing up twice over because it's been sat in the water that I left it in. Even though I in some ways I'm so tidy and so OCD about things in their place, and everything has, if I use it, I don't put it down in one place and leave it there. I put it back where I've used it from, because otherwise it either gets in the way or it annoys me, and I don't like those annoyances. I'm very organised in that sense. Cleaning and stuff like that, it's whether I've got some good music on and I can focus on it, and if I do focus, it's not just a quick clean. It's a once over from one end right the way through to the other end, with every surface cleaned, everything wiped. It's either one extreme or the other with me, with things like that, and that's probably why I'm single, because I although I see things, it's only when it annoys me that I deal with it. So if it doesn't annoy me, I don't have to deal with it. And if I put things, so you see how I kind of think. At the moment, Gizham's roaching in his spot on the bed. He's been quite distant today. He's not come for snuggles or cuddles, or been sat here with me while I've been working. There were some fireworks that went off earlier on over the back here, the other side of, there's a railway line that runs not far from the end of where I am. But yeah, today, shopping, I did my shop, and as I was whizzing round, I noticed so many people just stood there staring into fridges. And I'm like, I can see what I want. I know where it is. It might be, for instance, some smoked salmon. And I get to the fridge. I'm in Aldi. Know the fridge. I've got all the ingredients on the way down that aisle. I've got to the fridge, and there's somebody there, and they've got their trolley blocking the fridge next door, so you can't open those doors. And they're stood halfway into the fridge, looking, and just stood there. They're not picking up products. They seem like they're miles away, and you kind of stand there and you get a bit closer and you make your presence known, and you know that they can see you in the reflection of the glass, but they're still looking into the fridge, and you end up huffing or puffing, or like me, you end up moving their trolley as far away from them as possible, then going back and opening the door to the next thing and reaching round in front of them and taking the item that you want. Well, I'm not going to stand there, and I've kind of made my presence known. And if it annoys you, don't stand in the fridge with the door open. Stand back and let somebody else get what they want and nip through. Rather, I'm not rude in that sense. If somebody's stood and they know and they've got a list and they're looking at a certain type of product on a shelf, I won't walk in between. I'll walk behind them, or I'll crouch down and, excuse me, I'll do that type of thing. But when I'm shopping, I don't like all of the noise and the hecticness and the announcements on the sound system, and the till noises and the bleeps and the ladies. And as soon as I walk into anywhere, I like to focus. I can't listen to music because then I get distracted because I'm thinking about the music and I can't think about my shopping list or the order that I'm doing my shopping. But when I'm in supermarkets or shops that have many noises, I try and concentrate on my map of the supermarket, so I get the map in my head and the way the supermarket is, where all the products are, and then I will get the products I need into my basket, and then I'll focus on that next product. Where is it on the shelf? Da, 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 da. I know this sounds weird, but it means that I don't concentrate on Ducky talking to her husband or moaning at him because he didn't pick up his towel from the bathroom, or the conversation of this couple that are walking by that have got kids that are crying, and a kid that's just opened a bag of sweets that he's been told 3 times. Because when I'm walking around a supermarket, I'm processing everything that's going on. I'm listening to everything. I'm listening to the bread machine slicing the bread. I'm listening to the alarm of the door. I'm listening to the tills at the other end of the supermarket bleeping. I'm listening to the footsteps. I know I'm very aware of sound in that way, and that's why I've worked in the industries that I have, because the design and the graphic design and the print and that side of my creative side fed that bit of my brain. Working in nightclubs and working for a festival and doing events and working in events and doing sound systems and all of that, the environments, although they're hectic, I love them because I understood them. I could work in them. I love the pressure. My whole thing about working in that industry was seeing a concept, then the posters, then the promotion, then the hype, and then the event, and walking around or working behind the bar or helping manage the staff or the organisation. And what I did in nightclubs worked well with my brain. Very much like driving. I love driving. I love getting in a car and driving because sometimes I don't need any music. I don't need anything else. I'll listen to the car. I'll listen to see if everything's okay. Does it sound like it's running right? Does it sound like it did yesterday? And I like driving because it satisfies my brain immensely. I take in everything. I'm so observant. I don't miss things. I look at number plates. I'm not your average driver, and I'm not cautious or anything like that. I'm a 50-year-old in a 24-year-old, 23-year-old Beetle that doesn't go very fast, and I don't need to go fast. I like pootling along and watching people react to a Beetle, whether it be a child or an adult or whatever. I haven't got the old Beetle. I had one of those Beetles. I've got what they call a new Beetle, but it's still that kind of old shape. It's not the new Beetle that's out at the moment that looks more like a Porsche or kind of. I know they all look like Porsches, but I know I'm making sense. Um, but the reactions you get, people smile at Beetles. I get let out at junctions. I get. It's very strange. Children's reactions when you're parking in the in a car park and a child and a family will walk by and the child will be like, "Oh look, Herbie, mum," and the parent will smile and I'll smile back. And on my Beetle, there's it's not anything special. It's just a Beetle, but I think it makes me happy driving it, and it gives me something by owning it. Yeah, I'm as you've probably seen, I waffle and I jump, and I know that I jump, and I know I know what I'm trying to say, and I know what I'm trying to get across in today's upload. Today's upload is about realization. It's about the realization of, I keep saying it, I've cut myself off from virtually everybody. I've got a very close group of friends that I interact and talk to and see, and then everybody that's outside of that or on social media, I don't really interact with as much as I used to. I made some I made some more realizations about social media and how it affects me, and I've touched on it a little bit about people posting about what they got for Christmas, and they bought X, Y, and Z for their husband, or they spoilt their partner with whatever it was. And I, my last partner gaslighted me, and we were together for 5 years, and for 3 of the years we were together, she was sleeping with somebody else. She was doing things like hiding my keys in the fridge, and then when I'd go looking for them, I'd want to go to the shop, or I'd want to go shopping, or I'd want to take Gizmo out or Bella out or whatever. I couldn't find my keys, and then I'd find them in the fridge, and she'd be like, "Oh, you must have put them in the fridge." And it's only more recently when I've had the memories of me posting about the fact that I couldn't find my keys, or the fact that my slippers were in the car, and I remember leaving them by the side of the bed, and when I took them off when I went to bed, why would I take my slippers off in the car? And I literally thought that I didn't need anybody else when I lived with her. She made me feel like I was not worth anything. She killed my creativity. I didn't do any design work, and I cut off, and I lost all of the people that I was working with in Jersey. She ended up we ended up rebranding her whole company, and she ended up doing it in Word. She didn't let me use my really expensive computer with my 20 years worth of graphic design and knowledge and stuff like that. She did it in Word, and she used templates, and she built her own website, and she thought it looked good, and it that was one of the final things that stopped me doing stuff like that, because it was like, well, she doesn't want me to do it, why should I do it for anybody else? So I stopped doing it, and I focused on other things. um, but she also she changed me. She made sure that I lived in a microclimate. So we lived on a farm. We were retraining racehorses. We were hiring out the indoor school for dogs, reactive dogs, so they could have an enclosed space where they could run and play ball and not run off, and dogs that didn't have good recall. And we had loads of loads of different types of dogs, and people came, all sorts. I've got loads of stories about that, but just moving on from that, when I confronted her, and at the end of 2019, it was on New Year's Eve, and I was like, look, something's going on. I'm not stupid. I knew something was going on, and I'd seen things like I always used to make the bed in a certain way, and I'd put the pillows in a certain way because I knew that the dogs would snuggle into the pillows if I put them that way, and so on and so on. And there was days when I come home and the corner of the duvet would be in a different position, and the pillows would be squashed down. And I know that in the mornings when I got out of bed, because she got out of bed earlier than me, that I'd make the bed in such a way that it was nice to go back to the next evening if the dogs hadn't wrecked it. Um, I'd seen the things. But I just didn't put two and two together. I was too wrapped up in her world and under her control. And when I moved out, and this block of my life, this last 5 years that I think I've taken to process, and what's gone on with the start of 2020, that got to me, and I had an accident when I split up with her. I ended up buying, excuse me, ended up buying a small Vauxhall Vivaro van and self-converting it and moving into it with Gizmo. It had a bed, it had kitchen, it had a sink to wash and be tidy. It functioned, but I had an accident. I fell over, I tripped over Gizmo, and I broke my wrist, and ended up having open carpal tunnel surgery, a titanium plate, 9 pins, and 3 operations. And it's still not fixed, but it's fixed enough. But because I couldn't do the things I wanted to do, and because I couldn't drive, and I had so many things taken away from me in that time, I ended up where I am now. And don't get me wrong, where I am now is fantastic. It's my home at the moment. It's where I feel safe. It's where I can close the gate and I can lock it, and I'm surrounded by greenery. I've got several chickens and several roosters that are in the area that I'm in. There's a agricultural field next door with 2 horses in it, and then there's a big long driveway. It's very private, it's very quiet, and I'm incredibly lucky to be here. I know that I need to start thinking about where I need to go from here, but at the moment, it's our home. It's mine and Gizmo's home. The next few days are gonna be very. Oh, hello, dude. Come on, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come and have a cuddle. Come on, Giz, come here, Gizmo, come here, come here, hop, Giz, come on, come here. What's this? Come here, come here, come here. Sit down. Hello. Hi. Hi. Yes. What? You got something to say? What do you want? You've just been upside down, roaching. I'm talking to those guys. Yes. So I'm going to carry on talking. You can stay there. Um, Gizmo's come for a cuddle. Um, it's very much on his terms. Male dogs are very different to female dogs. BALL driven. If I even mention that word, he'll just go nuts. Whereas he's come in and put his paws all over me and snuggle down and come back to sleep. Now, these videos, as I was going to say, they might be a bit all over the place. They're going to be random. I am a very random, complex guy. Um, I have a lot of, shall we say, feathers in my cap. with many years of experience within those feathers, whether it be the web side of things or DJing and music and events and parties and festivals and nightclubs, or it might be the cooking element or the animals, and the experience with animals, and the way that I am with animals and they interact with me. Um, there's the I'm going to stop because I need to upload this, and I really do want to achieve the daily upload um, thing that I've set myself. So I hope you're enjoying the videos. I appreciate it if you've spent the time to listen to me waffling. Um, if you want to hear more about things I've spoken about, drop a comment and ask me questions, or if there's something that I've touched upon that hits home, let me know. Um, we might be able to help each other. But anyway, have an awesome evening, whatever you're doing. I'm gonna probably take him for a WALK, make myself a nice brew, and finish the final touches to this web space that I'm developing. But anyway, I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.